Lil Baby has just walked straight into a deadly trap, and the entire internet is completely paralyzed by what we are witnessing. This is not a rumor, and this is not some fabricated Twitter beef designed for streams. A terrifying, raw CCTV recording has just leaked to the darkest corners of the internet, showing Lil Baby completely isolated, helpless, and surrounded by a ruthless pack of masked goons in a pitch-black London alleyway. The Atlanta Titan, usually untouchable and flanked by his elite security detail, was caught slipping in a way that could end his entire career, and maybe worse. If you thought the transatlantic war between Central C and Lil Baby over a massive feature fee disrespect was just about money, you are dead wrong. This has escalated into a full-blown street-level nightmare. In the chilling footage, the armed men don't just corner him. They systematically bypass every single layer of his security, backing the American superstar against a damp brick wall and forcing a humiliating surrender that is now sending shockwaves through the global hip-hop industry. But what happens at the exact 1:43 mark of this leaked video changes absolutely everything. You are watching a deep dive into the darkest timeline in modern rap history, and I promise you, what you are about to see will shake you to your core. Do not look away, because the truth behind this ambush is more disturbing than anyone could have ever predicted. To understand how a Grammy-winning, Billboard-topping Atlanta icon ended up cornered like prey in a freezing UK alleyway, we have to rewind the clock. We have to look at a betrayal so toxic, so deeply personal, that it poisoned the water between two massive continents. This disaster didn't just happen overnight. It was a ticking time bomb, rigged the very second Central C and Lil Baby crossed paths, and the explosion was entirely inevitable. In May 2024, the world witnessed what was supposed to be the ultimate, unbreakable alliance. Band for Band wasn't just a hit track, it was a cultural reset that had the internet in a chokehold. Central C, the undisputed king of UK drill, reached across the Atlantic and handed Lil Baby a massive $400,000. There were no intense negotiations, no label red tape, and no back-and-forth drama, just a straight, immediate wire transfer to secure the verse. It was a historic moment of transatlantic respect. They shot the music video right in the heart of London. They paraded around the city in a matching fleet of Lamborghini Uruses. They looked absolutely untouchable. They looked like blood brothers bridging the massive gap between Atlanta trap and London drill. But behind the flashing cameras, the designer clothes, the private jets, and the platinum plaques, a catastrophic level of disrespect was quietly brewing. The moment Central C asked for the exact same energy in return, quoting that identical $400,000 fee for a feature on Lil Baby's upcoming project, he wasn't just rejected. He was deeply, publicly humiliated. Lil Baby allegedly looked at the UK superstar, a man who had completely shattered the American market and broken Billboard records for his city, and flat out told him they were not in the same league. Let those words sink in for a second. Not in the same league. In the ruthless, ego-driven economy of the rap industry, your price is your pride. Your rate is your reputation. To tell an artist who just handed you nearly $500,000 in cold hard cash that he is essentially beneath you is not just a standard business decision. It is a declaration of war. Central C, a man who clawed his way out of the gritty council estates of Shepherd's Bush to build a global empire without the backing of an American major label, took that comment as a direct, unforgivable attack on his legacy, his city, and his entire culture. For months, the tension simmered at an absolute boiling point. The internet mercilessly dissected the disrespect. The US audience vehemently defended Lil Baby's American dominance, laughing off the UK scene as secondary. Meanwhile, the UK audience demanded absolute blood for the insult to their king. But what did Central C do? He went completely, terrifyingly silent. He didn't jump on Instagram Live to scream and shout. He didn't furiously type out a Twitter thread, and he didn't drop a desperate diss track. He converted his anger into something much more dangerous, a chilling, calculated silence. But in the concrete jungle of London, silence doesn't mean forgiveness. It means preparation. Lil Baby was already dealing with the crushing weight of ongoing legal pressure back in Atlanta, desperately trying to outrun the intense scrutiny of the authorities surrounding his former 4 picofarads label. Because of his untouchable status in the States, he clearly underestimated the absolute wrath he had awakened across the pond. He thought his American privilege and superstar aura would act as an invisible, bulletproof shield in foreign territory. He arrogantly believed the UK was just another playground where he dictated the rules. He was tragically, catastrophically wrong. The moment his private jet wheels touched down on British soil, the countdown to the most terrifying night of his life officially began. The disrespect was about to be paid back in full. Not with a bank transfer, not with a rap lyric, and not with an internet meme. It was going to be paid back with sheer, unadulterated terror in the dark, where nobody could hear him scream. The exact date is now seared into the darkest pages of rap history. It's 2:14 a.m. on a damp, freezing Friday night in London. The fog is thick, the streets are dead quiet, and Lil Baby makes a fatal, catastrophic miscalculation. Trying to keep a dangerously low profile, likely driven by paranoia from the massive federal RICO heat breathing down his neck back in Atlanta, he steps out of an ultra-exclusive Mayfair private club with only 2 security guards. There is no heavily armed entourage. There is no impenetrable, bulletproof SUV convoy. There is just a completely false sense of security in a city that was actively, breathlessly hunting him. He thought he was untouchable. He was walking directly into a slaughter. According to the leaked CCTV footage that is currently being aggressively scrubbed from Twitter every 5 minutes by panicked PR teams, the trap was sprung with a level of horrifying precision that looks exactly like a military Black Ops mission. As Lil Baby and his 2 guards turn down a dimly lit, narrow cobblestone alleyway heading toward their waiting vehicle, the headlights of their SUV suddenly and violently cut out. Plunged into total darkness, the nightmare begins. From the shadows, they emerge. Not 1, not 2, but at least 12 towering men dressed entirely in pitch black, unbranded tactical gear. Their faces are completely obscured by heavy balaclavas. They move in total, suffocating silence. There is no yelling, no chaotic street brawl energy, no warnings. This is a highly coordinated, lethal pincer movement. Within exactly 4 seconds, literally 4 seconds, chat, Lil Baby's 2 massive security guards are completely neutralized. They are shoved violently against the damp brick walls, disarmed, and incapacitated before they can even reach for their radios or weapons. The camera angle, grainy, devoid of color, but chillingly, terrifyingly clear, zooms in on Lil Baby. The Atlanta superstar, a man who dictates the entire flow of the global music industry, completely freezes. He is totally, hopelessly surrounded. The masked goons close the circle, trapping him in a suffocating ring of pure hostility. You can physically see the sheer panic set in. His usually confident posture breaks, his hands hover defensively near his chest. The claustrophobia radiating from the screen is absolutely unbearable. You are watching a rap god bleed his pride. But here is where the blood runs completely cold. Here is the exact moment the internet lost its collective mind and Twitter servers almost crashed. The masked men don't lay a single physical finger on him. They don't beat him into the concrete. They don't rob him of his $1 million chains or violently snatch his Richard Mille watch. They are not after his wealth. They are after his soul. The clear leader of the pack, a towering, intimidating figure wearing a distinctively customized Cinna World jacket, the exact clothing brand owned by Central C, steps forward from the shadows. The man reaches deep into his pocket, pulls out a heavily encrypted burner phone, and shoves it violently into Lil Baby's chest. The audio on the CCTV is muffled by the harsh London wind, but a leaked transcript from an alleged highly placed insider at the security firm monitoring the cameras reveals the terrifying, soul-crushing command given to the rapper. Answer it. Tell him you understand your place. Lil Baby's hands are visibly shaking in the footage. The man who arrogantly claimed Central C wasn't in the same league is now trembling in the dark. He takes the phone. He slowly, hesitantly puts it to his ear. For 30 agonizing, humiliating seconds, the superstar stands completely captive in the dark alley, nodding his head obediently to whoever is speaking on the other end of that line. The psychological torture of the moment is infinitely worse than any physical beating could ever be. They didn't want his money. They wanted his absolute dignity. They stripped away his aura of invincibility and recorded every single agonizing second of his total submission to show the world. And then, just when you think you understand exactly what you are watching, comes the first mind-bending, earth-shattering twist that changes the entire trajectory of this story. Just as the terrifying call ends, Lil Baby drops the burner phone to the concrete, his hands trembling too much to hold it. The towering leader of the masked men reaches down to retrieve it. As his dark sleeve rides up in the motion, the harsh, flickering glare of a distant street lamp briefly catches his wrist. He is wearing a hyper-specific, one-of-one custom diamond bracelet. It flashes brightly on the grainy footage for just a fraction of a second. But a fraction of a second is all the internet needs. Eagle-eyed fans immediately freeze-frame the video, enhance the image, and trace that exact piece of jewelry back to a recent Instagram story. But that diamond bracelet doesn't belong to Central C. It doesn't belong to any known UK drill affiliate. That bracelet belongs to a notorious, incredibly dangerous high-ranking enforcer connected to a heavily armed rival Atlanta faction back in the United States. Wait, what? Stop everything. Was this even a UK hit? Or was the UK simply the terrifying stage for an American execution? The internet was thrown into absolute, uncontrolled chaos as the horrifying realization set in. Central C's UK goons might not have just been defending their boss. They might have been acting as hired mercenaries for a domestic enemy who wanted Lil Baby crushed on foreign soil, where he had zero protection. Did Central C just broker the most dangerous street deal in rap history? By dawn, the footage had violently shattered the internet. You couldn't open Twitter, TikTok, or Instagram without seeing the grainy, terrifying image of Lil Baby trapped in that pitch-black London alleyway. The hashtag Baby Surrendered was trending at #1 worldwide, pulling in over 10 million tweets in less than 6 hours. The cultural shockwave was so massive that it completely eclipsed mainstream news. Everyone, from hardcore rap fans to major media outlets, was paralyzed by what they were witnessing. DJ Academics went live immediately, his voice practically shaking with disbelief as he broke down the footage frame by terrifying frame. "This is bad, chat. This is career-ending bad," Academics yelled into his microphone, rubbing his face in absolute shock. They didn't just press him in the streets, they made a movie out of him. And the fact that they were wearing Cine World gear? Cench is sending a global message. He's telling the world that he runs the board. Fake leaks and heavily guarded insider reports began flooding the timelines like a tsunami. A notorious hip-hop commentary account, Samson the Goat, tweeted a highly credible-looking screenshot of an alleged text message sent from Lil Baby's terrified manager to a prominent UK promoter. "Get us the F out of this city right now. They sold our location." Asterisk. The panic across the Atlantic was visceral. Atlanta's hip-hop scene was up in arms, with loyalists to the 4 picofarads brand demanding immediate, catastrophic retaliation. Prominent street figures were hopping on Instagram Live, outright threatening that Central C would never be able to safely step foot in the United States again. The transatlantic war had evolved from a debate over streaming numbers and feature fees into a terrifying geopolitical street war. American privilege had officially been revoked on British soil, and the industry was terrified of the fallout. But exactly as the flames reached their absolute peak, a second, paralyzing twist dropped like a nuclear bomb on the timeline. A verified, burner-style account connected to the deepest, darkest layers of the UK drill scene released a raw, 15-second high-definition clip recorded from inside the circle of goons. This wasn't CCTV. This was a first-person view of the nightmare. The audio was crystal clear. When the towering man shoved the burner phone into Lil Baby's chest, you could hear the voice blaring through the speaker before the phone even reached the superstar's ear. It wasn't a British accent. It wasn't Central C demanding respect or a refund. The voice on the other end of the line had a thick, unmistakable Southern drawl. It was a voice heavily, dangerously associated with the ongoing, Deadly RICO investigations currently ripping through the heart of Atlanta, a voice that Lil Baby had desperately, publicly been trying to distance himself from to save his own freedom. The shocking reveal tore the entire narrative to shreds. Central C didn't orchestrate this ambush just to avenge the $400,000 disrespect. Central C's camp had allegedly sold Lil Baby out to his deadliest enemies back home. The UK faction had essentially rented out their muscle, utilizing the not-in-the-same-league beef as the ultimate, genius smokescreen to allow an Atlanta hit squad to execute their psychological warfare on foreign soil without taking the heat. Central C wasn't just a rapper holding a grudge over a bruised ego. He was allegedly operating as an international broker of street politics. He was leveraging the UK's home court advantage to help completely tear down the American king. The sheer, cold-blooded ruthlessness of this betrayal sent the entire music industry into a catastrophic tailspin. Lil Baby wasn't just surrounded by foreign goons in a random dispute over money. He had been perfectly, flawlessly boxed in by his own inescapable past, delivered on a silver platter by a man he once called a collaborator. But as the internet struggled to process this international conspiracy, a terrifying new question emerged from the chaos. If Central C was working with Lil Baby's American enemies, who gave the UK goons the exact coordinates of Lil Baby's secret Mayfair exit? How did they bypass his elite security detail without firing a single shot? The trap was too perfect. Someone on the inside had to have opened the door. And when the identity of the mole is finally revealed, the entire rap industry is going to burn to the ground. The fallout was nothing short of apocalyptic. The second that first-person footage hit the timeline, the global hip-hop community didn't just react, it completely short-circuited. We're talking about Twitter servers actively lagging because millions of people were refreshing the hashtag #LilBabySetup and hashtag #CenchTheDawn hashtags every single second. This wasn't just celebrity gossip anymore. This was a terrifying, real-time look at the unchecked, dangerous underbelly of the international music industry, and everyone was forced to watch it unfold live. The internet immediately fractured into an absolute, vicious war zone, deeply divided along geographical and cultural lines. The US audience, fiercely protective of their Atlanta trap pioneer, went completely nuclear. Massive fan accounts and verified creators flooded timelines with pure fury. This is exactly why American artists need to stop doing favors for the UK. One viral tweet with over 300,000 likes read, "Lil Baby blessed Central C with the biggest hit of his life, and this is the setup he gets in return?" Central C just started a transatlantic war he cannot finish. But the UK side? They were absolutely ruthless in their mockery. London drill accounts posted relentless, frame-by-frame memes of the alleyway CCTV, dissecting how easily the American security was dismantled by local goons. "You told our guy he wasn't in your league," a prominent UK cultural commentator posted, gaining massive traction. "Turns out, you were absolutely right. You're playing pop star politics. Cench is playing international chess. Don't come to London and act like you own the pavement." The sheer, unfiltered humiliation was suffocating. The industry itself was completely paralyzed by fear. A-list celebrities, terrified of getting caught in the crossfire of what was rapidly looking like an international RICO-adjacent gang war, began moving in pure panic. A massive Toronto superstar quietly deleted a 2024 Instagram carousel that featured Lil Baby. Prominent Atlanta rappers, usually the loudest voices in the room, went dead silent, absolutely refusing to tweet, stream, or comment on the footage. Major PR firms were practically having meltdowns, issuing strict, frantic directives to their clients. Do not engage. Do not take sides. Do not say a single word. Major hip-hop news outlets couldn't contain the fire. The Shade Room's comment section became a toxic battlefield of threats and wild conspiracies. DJ Academics looked genuinely terrified on his live stream, rubbing his face and whispering, "Chat, if they can touch Baby in London, nobody is safe anywhere." Even worse, the authorities took notice. According to a heavily circulated, leaked internal memo floating around Reddit, federal authorities in Atlanta had already contacted Scotland Yard. They were no longer looking at this alleyway confrontation as a simple rapper dispute, but as terrifying evidence of a transnational organized crime syndicate operating right under the nose of the music industry. The chaos was feeding on itself, fueled by a terrifying realization. The music industry has zero protection when the streets finally decide to collect a debt. But while millions of fans were busy tearing each other apart online, debating whether Lil Baby was a victim or a casualty of his own arrogance, they were all looking in the exact wrong direction. Because while the world was obsessing over the UK Goons and the Atlanta Hit Squad, nobody asked the most important, bone-chilling question: who exactly opened the door? Just as the world thought they had pieced this horrific puzzle together, just as everyone accepted that Central C had simply brokered a deal with Lil Baby's Atlanta enemies, the ground completely opened up beneath our feet. The entire narrative we had been tracking for the last 12 hours was just completely obliterated by a revelation so dark, it makes the alleyway ambush look like child's play. A few hours ago, Central C officially broke his chilling silence. He didn't release a polished statement through his high-priced corporate lawyers, and he didn't drop a vague, cryptic quote on his Instagram story. Instead, he posted a single, high-resolution, unedited photograph directly to his main Instagram grid. The caption was completely empty. No emojis, no text, just pure, cold defiance. The image showed Central C sitting casually in the back of a luxury, custom-tinted Maybach rolling through the streets of London. But he wasn't alone in that vehicle. Sitting right next to him, sipping from a styrofoam cup, completely relaxed and laughing at whatever was on the phone screen between them, was the exact same towering, heavily built man from the leaked CCTV footage. The leader of the pack. The exact same man who had violently shoved the burner phone into Lil Baby's chest and forced his submission. But in this photo, his mask was completely off. And the face staring back at the camera wasn't a UK drill associate. It wasn't an Atlanta gang enforcer. The man sitting next to Central C, flashing a sinister smile at the camera, was Lil Baby's own personal head of security. The exact same man who was supposedly neutralized and shoved against the brick wall at the very beginning of the alleyway video. The internet literally stopped breathing. The servers on Discord and TikTok completely froze as the realization hit. This wasn't an ambush from the outside. This was a brutal, calculated inside job from the absolute highest level. Lil Baby wasn't hunted down by foreign enemies. He was systematically betrayed by the one man he paid millions of dollars to protect his life. Central C hadn't just proven they were in the same league. He proved that he completely owned the board, the pieces, and the very people Lil Baby trusted with his survival.
But why?
Why would Lil Baby's most trusted confidant turn on him for a UK rapper? What kind of leverage or astronomical wealth did Central C use to flip Lil Baby's inner circle against him? The drama is nowhere near over. In fact, the nightmare is just beginning. As we speak, a second, top-secret recording is reportedly being shopped around to underground hip-hop blogs, a video that contains the actual audio of what Lil Baby promised on that burner phone to save himself. We are currently tracking the source of this secondary leak, and what's hidden in that audio will completely rewrite the hierarchy of the entire music industry. Stay locked in because this transatlantic war is about to claim its first permanent casualty, and the next update changes everything. Gossip or a family, my mind is absolutely blown, and the internet is burning down in real time. This transatlantic street war just became the ultimate psychological thriller. I need to know exactly where you stand right now. Drop a comment below. Did Lil Baby bring this absolute betrayal on himself with his arrogance? Or has Central C crossed a deadly line that is going to end in permanent tragedy? Make sure you smash that like button right now to help us fight the shadow ban, and hit subscribe with notifications turned all the way on. Gossip Aura is the only channel tracking the hidden footage the mainstream media is terrified to show you. The street chatter says Lil Baby's camp is preparing an apocalyptic retaliation, and the second that next leaked audio drops, I will be right here to break it down. Stay locked in, trust nobody, and I'll see you in the next explosive update.